Hey everyone, it's Phil again. I wanted to give an update on the sealed deck that I built out of the cards I just drafted a little bit ago. So first I figured we could go through the mana base. So first up, I got lucky enough to get one of the tricolor lands. Crypt of the Eternals enters the battlefield tapped. You can gain a life from it. You can tap it for a colorless, or you can pay one and tap it to get one of the three colors in my deck. So that was a good start for a mana base, because three-color deck, I figure it's going to be a little shaky. We'll see how it goes. Next, we have actually two of these. These are deserts, and they're going to fire off one of our cards that wants deserts. So these enter the battlefield tapped. You can tap for a black, but you can also cycle it for 2. So that could help us out if we just start getting a lot of land, which I put 18 land in, so that might happen. The other, I have a red desert as well. Then we went with 3 mountains, 6 islands, 5 swamps. Since we have like the 2 black deserts, we got a little less swamps, red desert. Hopefully our mana base is good. It looks a little shaky. Obviously, anytime you run 3 colors without a lot of land mana fixes. Unfortunately, I don't have green in here, so unfortunately I didn't really get any artifacts to help with mana either. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so next we'll just go by mana cost. So first up, we got 2 walls of Forgotten Pharaohs. They're defenders, and you can tap to have them deal 1 damage to a player if you control a desert. So we kind of want deserts for that, but more importantly, it's 2 mana, and it's a 0/4, so it'll help defend until we can get to Nicol Bolas or our other bombs. Okay, so we got those. We have 2 sorceries, Strategic Planning. So you can look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, and the rest in your graveyard. So not amazing, but I figure a little card draw will help us just try to get either 2 land or dump land to get to our bombs when we can play them. For more defense / removal, I have 2 Unquenchable Thirsts. Enchant creature, if you control a desert, or if there's a desert in your graveyard, you can untap enchanted creature and it doesn't untap. So, a little bit of removal. They'll play off of our 3 deserts too. We have, for 2 mana, Earthshaker Kenra. It's a 2/1 haste. When it enters the battlefield, target creature with power less than or equal to it can't block. And it has Eternalize, which lets you return it from the graveyard as a sorcery. So it's got some early game power and late game power if it dies with Eternalize. And last, for 2 mana, we have a 2/1 2 mana Spellweaver Eternal. It has Prowess. So whenever I cast one of my sorceries or instants, it gets +1/+1. Afflict, I don't know how well that'll work. We'll see. If they block it, they lose 2 life. So even if they kill it, I guess you get some value out of it. Alright, so what do we got for 3 mana? Well, some more defense. It's a 0/5 defender and you can cycle it. So, love it. That's an early game defender for me till I can get my land out, get my mana base out, and hopefully play Nicol Bolas and crush everyone. So 3 mana, we got that. We have a Grizzly Survivor. It's a 2/3 for 3, which isn't terrible, I guess, already. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, it gets +2/+0 till end of turn. So I imagine we'll be cycling, quite a bit, so that gives it some more value. It becomes a 4/3. We have Eternal of Harsh Truths, whatever that means. It's a 3/1/3, has a flick 2, but whenever it attacks and isn't blocked, you can draw a card. So we got some card draw in there. And a 1/3 isn't horrible in a draft, I would say. So we'll see how that works. Then we have a little counterspell trick. So 3 mana, counter target spell unless they pay 1 colorless for each card in your graveyard. Cycle 2. It's a removal spell, and if we're playing behind a defensive deck, you know, we can hold some mana out to counter something. So not terrible, I think. We got some removal with Lethal Sting, 3 mana. You have to put a -1 counter on a creature you control, but it destroys target creature, so totally worth it. Awesome removal, cheap. Open Fire, 3 mana, deals 3 damage to target creature player. Pretty easy. I needed more removal, so I went with that. Alright, then for 4 mana, I actually got 2 of these, but I'm only going to run 1. It's a 5/5 for 4, but at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a -1 counter on it. Luckily, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can remove a counter. So we'll see. He, I imagine, could be pretty lethal, depending on if you get your sorceries, your instants out. So could be good. We got a Sand Strangler for 4. It's a 3/3. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if you control a desert or there's one in your graveyard, you can have it deal 3 damage to a creature. So you get a 3/3 for 4, and it could potentially kill something. Again, it'll fire off the 3 deserts we have. So those deserts definitely help out, I hope. 4/2, and he's pretty simple. You just cycle him for a black. So, you know, depending where you're at in the game, you can cycle him to get to mana, dump him for something else. Good with that. And for 4 mana, the last one we have is the Cursed Horde. It's a 3/3, 2 mana, target attacking zombie gains indestructible till end of turn. So that includes himself, because he's a zombie. So, love it. Seems like a pretty strong card for 4 mana. We'll see how it works. For 5 mana, we have 2 of these. It's a 3/4 lifelink. So, I love it. It's 5, but a 3/4 is a pretty big body in drafting. The lifelink will hopefully help us stay alive to get to our bombs. That's really what we're trying to do with the deck. But I could definitely see it winning off of some of the lower mana cards. And for bombs, we have a Striped Riverwinder. It's a 5/5 hexproof, so that's, and you can cycle it. So if we get that early, we can just cycle it out to draw a card, get to mana, or another answer. Love it. For hexproof is going to be a problem to deal with, obviously. If you get this beast out, you're probably going to win, depending on how the board looks. And lastly, the prize and joy, 7 mana, Nicol Bolas. So first turn, you know, depending on what you want to do, you can pop 4 off of them, deal 7 damage to opponent or creature they control. It's ridiculous. So that 7 damage could finish them immediately, or you could just get rid of something ridiculous. For +2, they exile cards from the top of their library until you exile a non-land card, and until the end of turn, I can cast it without paying its mana cost. So it's amazing. I can get to some ridiculous cards with that. Who knows, if you get lucky, take their bomb. +1, each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand. Pretty amazing still. And if you ever can't win a game until you get to 12, you can exile each non-land permanent your opponents control. So he is a monster, and I love it. Love Grixis colors, and wow, I'm happy with this deck. We'll see how it goes. I would love your input, though. Like, if you guys play Magic, have any suggestions for it or thoughts about the deck, just post them down below. I'd love to hear them. All right, thanks for watching.